Welcome back. We're going to jump into Module 3 with multidisciplinary teams. Before we get to the content, let's think about what a multidisciplinary team is. And that is a group of individuals with different areas of expertise that come together. So your special ed teacher, general ed teacher, the parents, the student even, school psychologist, physical therapist, occupational therapist, speech pathologist, school counselor. The list goes on. And each of these individuals brings a unique area of expertise to the multidisciplinary team. So now let's look at what is a multiple disciplinary team and the components that create a successful team. Let's first look at the definition of collaboration, because a multidisciplinary team cannot be successful without collaboration. And collaboration is working jointly with someone or a group of someones to produce or create something. Individuals join forces, they team up, and they put their heads together. The process of a multidisciplinary team is the working together to achieve a goal. And in the field of special education, the child should always be at the point of that goal. It's our time to put our egos aside and really focus on what is in the best interest of the child. It's a recursive process. It's a give and take. It's a consensus. And it's the relationship of that common goal of the child or the student that keeps our focus and our vision to help that child move forward. It's cooperative, and we reach an identical objective, and that is the student or child's success. When we define characteristics of collaboration, collaboration is voluntary. We share mutual goals. Equity is created between the teachers and everyone else on the team. There's shared responsibility and shared accountability. Voluntary, meaning you decide to participate as a collaborator. Parity, the belief that all individuals contribute and are valued equally. We have shared goals, shared responsibility, dividing the work up, and we share decision making. Shared accountability are the decision results. Whatever that result may be, we share accountability in having reached that point. Shared resources. Everyone on the multidisciplinary team comes together with an area of expertise, and we share our areas of expertise in a matter of openness, open mind, and not in the mindset of ego and getting what we want. Emergent. True collaboration will emerge as teachers and other members of the team are more experienced at collaborating. So the collaboration life cycle is actually based on a business model. And it's an ongoing cyclical reiterative process of awareness, motivation, self-synchronization, participation, mediation, reciprocity, reflection, engagement, and we start the cycle again. And as members of the team change, this process starts again in refining the team. If our team can stay together for longer periods of time, we will become experts in this collaboration life cycle. When one member leaves, a new one comes in, we have to start building all over again. Through collaboration, we can share ideas, explore new and better strategies. We can problem solve more effectively. We can monitor and be more effective. We can evaluate effectively and enhance inclusion. The benefits of collaboration are around the idea of an expanded curriculum and an increased educational opportunity for the students. Teachers enhance their areas of expertise and learn from colleagues. And the team itself creates its own support system for a given student. Being productive and effective provides benefits for everyone. It requires everyone to have positive attitudes. We need to be effective and productive as to how the team processes information. We bring our professional development knowledge into the team. We take turns in leadership within that team, and we share our resources. Our positive attitudes keep us on track for finding common philosophy and goals. We're all seeking wisdom, advice, and support from one another. We're proactive. We go into our meetings ready to learn from one another and ready to share what we know. And we trust and respect each other. When we're looking to collaborate, we need to reflect on our own belief systems. What are our shared values within the team? And what's the tolerance towards changing some of my own standards or helping others change their standards within their classroom? We need to define, or I need to define or understand my own interaction skills. I need to be able to effectively communicate, effectively listen, and attend to the interaction process between individuals. And I need to contribute to this supportive environment within a multidisciplinary team. We need to look at administrative and staff support, teachers' efforts to contribute, and the availability of time to collaborate. I know as we work in schools, finding time to collaborate is often the biggest challenge. There are different levels of involvement in the collaboration process as well. And hopefully this model provides you with some of those components of collaboration. The personal commitment of parent, of teacher, of school psychologist. What is my personal commitment to the collaborative process? How effective am I in communicating? How can I work with colleagues to be more effective in how I teach my students, assess, plan, and then reflect on my processes? When I look at the school level, can my administrator give me the time, space, placement, and resources that I need and the multidisciplinary team needs to do work? And then, of course, we have the district-wide context of what it means to collaborate, to come together, and to support one another. Collaboration involves commitment by the teachers who will be working together, by their school administrators, by the school system, and by the community. It involves time, support, resources, monitoring, and above all, persistence. However, the biggest issue is time. Time for planning, time for development, and time for evaluating. Planning should take place at the district and the building levels as well as the classroom levels. So what are the characteristics of an effective team? Now that we've got a good idea of what a multidisciplinary team does, what it looks like, when do we know we're effective? We know when we're effective when all participants understand, agree to, and identify the primary goal of the team. We're open to communication that includes ideas and opinions and feelings. Team members trust each other, and they're willing to take advantage of the opportunity to deliberate. They support each other by being caring and concerning. Team members manage their human differences. They clarify how they are different from one another and use these differences to strengthen the team and to create new, different ideas of problem solving. Teams meet and work together only when necessary. They're fundamental. They have the fundamental skills of communication, for addressing task goals, and for maintaining effective team functioning. And teams have leaders that recognize that leadership is shared by all team members. Our communication skills, they use knowledge as a frame of reference. They recognize that shared problem solving begins with the understanding that there are right answers for addressing student learning and behavior, but there may not only be one right answer. They are effective strategies for listening. When someone shares a concern, you avoid the temptation to offer advice immediately. You listen, you stop and listen, and take in what the individual is sharing with you. You focus on your interactions, on observable information. You use collaborative language, meaning it's not me versus you, it is us. It is we. It is our. You think about how much you're talking in the group. Are you dominating the conversations and not being a strong listener? And if you do have a disagreement with a colleague, make sure you address it as soon as possible in a very straightforward manner. To create that inclusive setting within multidisciplinary teams, there has to be shared problem solving. It involves the entire group, blends into a shared understanding, and mutually agree upon solutions. The steps you can take to create that inclusive setting: you discover a shared need, identify the problem, propose a solution, evaluate ideas, plan specifics, implement the solution, and evaluate the outcomes. Teaming. It's a formal work group. Clear goals, active and committed members and leaders. Practice to achieve results. And you don't let personal issues interfere with the accomplishment of the goal. Teaming will not guarantee a successful educational practice. It depends on each team member's understanding, mutually shared goals, and collaborative effort for those goals. When we have collaboration and it's working effectively, then we can move into more of a consultative or consultation multidisciplinary mode. Consultation is defined as a collaboration of professional school counselors with parents, students, teachers, administrators, and other helping professionals, both within and outside the school setting. The goal of the consultation is to empower those involved to assist students in areas of personal, social, academic, and/or career development. The consultation model is based on the counseling model. It's client-centered. The consultant functions as a specialist who assists the client, makes a diagnosis, and makes recommendations. Think of it within the multidisciplinary team. Each one of you is an expert. Each one of you has assessed the client. You've made a formal or informal diagnosis, and now you're going to make a recommendation to the team. You might modify as you move through the process, as you learn from each other. But the consultative focus is on developing a plan that will help a specific client, or in this case, the specific student, or the specific family. The client-centered consultation that's concerned with difficulties a consultee encounters with a particular client for whom he or she has responsibility. And these conflicts can arise because of lack of knowledge, lack of skill, lack of confidence, or lack of objectivity. At the most basic level, though, consultation is an indirect service through which a teacher or other members of the multidisciplinary team receive support for a student by engaging in a problem-solving process with a consultant. And school-based consultation often involves a team, multidisciplinary team, comprising of all of these different people with whom have direct impact and direct access to the student. As a member of the multidisciplinary team, as a consulting role in your area of expertise, you do have responsibilities. Informing the teacher about the problem-solving process, meeting with relevant people to gather information that will help you in identifying and analyzing the problem, assisting the teacher in collecting data, provide training to the teacher in implementing the information and collecting that data. Collecting data on the teacher's adherence to the intervention protocol. Maybe the teacher is not effectively implementing, not consistently collecting the data that's needed. And then as a consultant, you can also support the teacher by graphing the scores, providing a visual representation of the data, and analyzing whether or not the intervention has been successful. In your role as a consultative member of the multidisciplinary team, you can bring your skill set and meet with the teacher on a regular basis to review the teacher's adherence to data and student progress, collectively making key decisions about whether or not to continue, modify, or terminate the intervention. Working slowly with the teacher to set timelines to review progress and short-time goals to accomplish before the next meeting. So how does consultation apply to response to intervention, or RTI? You want to get an expert that is outside of the school with specific expertise in RTI who will act as the consultant and lead them. Unless, of course, as many of the districts now have, RTI specialists. RTI team consists of the consultant, team administrators, and teachers who collaborate. The team, with the help of the consultant, are working together to determine what the specific RTI needs are for the school and work together to determine how they are going to meet those needs. And as the school becomes better able to identify and resolve RTI needs, then the consultant fades out. For successful relationships, I've got 5 key points here. It's about relationship building, problem identification, problem analysis, intervention implementation, and program evaluation. When working in a multidisciplinary team or through the RTI process, it's imperative that we keep in mind the cultural reciprocity piece within. Within my own research and my own work, I'm trying to truly understand how effective we can be when we bring in the cultural component of the families that we're working with. So as a multidisciplinary team member, are you looking at how the cultural background of the families you serve fits or does not fit into your multidisciplinary or RTI process? So cultural reciprocity is the process of becoming aware and understanding these subtle, deep-seated values in our professional beliefs and practice, so that we can explain them to families from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds who might not share these same values. By clarifying to ourselves why we recommend a particular practice to a family, we become aware of the embedded cultural values and begin to recognize that our assumptions about what is right practice may not be universal. By explaining these values to the family, we give them cultural capital, or the knowledge and skills that can help understand these embedded values, and thus better negotiate the special education system. Cultural reciprocity, as opposed to cultural competence, is a two-way process. It not only helps us as professionals to identify our values and differences in families' values, it also helps families to understand these differences and make informed decisions. Beth Harry and Maya Kalyanpur, who I've quoted in that last slide, are at the forefront of research around cultural reciprocity and how so many of our laws in the United States under IDEA are so culturally narrow, and how we have to become more sensitive in bringing multicultural groups into the conversation in meeting the needs of their children. I hope you found the information here informative, and as you move through Module 3, read the Office of Special Education ruling on RTI. Very important that children do not have to go through RTI prior to a request for assessment. Turn in your OSEP ruling thoughts. What do you think about that ruling? Read Step 6 in our text. Watch the multidisciplinary teams. Take the quiz on multidisciplinary teams. And then submit the multidisciplinary team framework and interviews. Please let me know if you need anything along the way.